So tell us, Baba Victor, what exactly is Ifa?
Every single one of these questions is going to be a loaded question. Loaded question. Here's the deal when it comes to answering this question. Honestly, the more you look and get into Ifa, the more in depth is the more it's unexplainable. It's really not something you can just put a label on and be that simple. It's almost unidentifiable as far as what you want to call it because it's everything. To some, it's a way of life. To some, it's a lifestyle. To some, it's their culture. Some, it's their religion. For me, it's all of that. And what is Ifa? Let's start with the basic principles, right?
Okay.
Here we're going to go with the whole, is it a monotheistic tradition?
Right.
Is it a polytheistic tradition?
Uh-huh.
And the problem with that is that culture and religion and scholars have tried to identify polytheistic as something bad and monotheistic as something good. And sometimes we're searching to try to stay within what is acceptable. First and foremost, we need to get away from that and just call the religion what it is. Is it a monotheistic tradition? Is it a henotheistic tradition? Most acceptable religions or most religions, and even Ifa, they say it's a monotheistic tradition because we have a supreme being. We have God, right? We have Olofi, Olojumare, Olorun. So they'll say it's a monotheistic tradition because it's a supreme being. And then, so you have to get into like, what is an Orisha? Are they gods? Are they deities? Are they eternal spirits? Are they angels? Are they messengers? Because that's what an angel is. It's just a messenger. The etymology of the word angel is messenger. So the Orishas are also angels and they're messengers. They're also spirits. They're also deities. They're also immortal. You start getting into the actual definition of some of these words and they cover a lot of them. But we do have a supreme being. So could it be considered as a monotheistic tradition? I would say no, because a monotheistic tradition, go with the etymology of the word. Mono meaning singular, alone. And they have a concept of the supreme being standing alone and there's nothing else. There's no other deities or ishas or gods. And a henotheistic tradition believes in the one, meaning heno, from the Greek word meaning one, is the one supreme being, meaning one out of multiple numbers, meaning there's a 2 and a 3, of multiples of other deities. So they believe in a henotheistic, the one supreme being is what they worship with the knowledge and acceptance that there is other types of deities or energies. Then you get into, but with that being said, pantheism. Pantheism is pan meaning the word all, and believing that all things are in God. God is in all, right? And that is also something that we also believe in, right? We believe in Olodumara's energy and his asher that it flows through everything and all living things and through his creation and are parts of him, whether it be humans, whether it be orishas, whether it be orumules, whether it be, in the plants and of life. There's parts of him that created this creation. So that is also an acceptable term. But then you get into pantheism, and believing that all is in God, but then actually in God, meaning that there also says that he is separate from all of that. He is a higher source than that. Even though all things were then, he still stands alone. He still stands separate from all of that. So I would probably go with the pantheism, because we believe in all things in God, but yet supreme being stands alone.
Okay.
but it cannot be identified. It could be all of that. There's no one word that can describe it. Monotheistic is a popular term for it because it's mostly politically acceptable and not considered, evil and everything else. But the only ones, they consider Christianity, Abrahamic religions to be a monotheistic tradition. But in my opinion, they are the only one that is the actual term and follow under the term polytheism. They're the only religion, in my opinion, amongst some other ones, but they are the one that has a Holy Trinity. The Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. In my opinion, they refer to all equal. There are three equal gods there. There is no supreme there. They're under the concept, in my opinion, of how they identify the Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. But I'm not here to be a religious scholar. I'm here to try to give you some insight of certain terms and how Ifa can fall into all of that with the Orishas and the energies that we have. So it's a little bit of everything. It's a little by definition. Sometimes it comes in everything. We don't believe in the devil. And there are some evolutions and different concepts and different exposures, and that there's been influences on this tradition over time that has brought in concepts of the devil, and you can even find it in some stories in Duradi, and some other Odus that speak of the devil or even Lucifer. And the concept of a devil is more of an Abrahamic religion, a Christian-based religion that brought in there's another force that is out there causing evil and is behind a lot of evil. So the concept of that doesn't really come to the core beliefs of Ifa. We believe that all these energies, Olofi, Olojumare, and some of the negative evil, the polar opposite energies of that can flow and be within our own conscious in a lot of different ways. So at the end of the day, is it a religion? Yes, for some. Has a system, a worship. Is it a spirituality? Absolutely. Understanding the metaphysics and understanding everything that flows on a spiritual level, on a spiritual plane. Is it a lifestyle? For some it is. For some they just get a reading and that's it for them. That is their spirituality. They're not about their religion. They are Christian. They just come here for the spiritual concept.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then they get their epo, they do their limpias and their cleanings, and then they move on. But for some, it's their religion. It's how they practice it. Is what they represent themselves on a religious worship doctrine level. Okay, and for others, it's a lifestyle as well. Some people just do that, but then they practice and then they incorporate it on a separate part. For some, it's a lifestyle. For some, it's how they eat, how they pray, how they exercise, how they act with others, how they have family life, how they parent their kids, how they are in their marriages. They go off the concept of Ifa and the Odus that teach us and their guidance through Ifa. And it's a lifestyle, So it's all of that for me. And it can be all of that for others in different parts. That's the best way I can explain what is Ifa. There definitely is a supreme being. There's Orishas that are here to bring balance and help us with our journeys on earth. And there's a concept of understanding the creations and understanding solutions and communications through Ifa to our ancestors, what we call Egun or Egungun, and Orishas, and the forces that work with us, and how to better ourselves and understanding ourselves. And that is through Ifa.